So, good morning, everybody. So, for some reason, I think I probably covered something like this, but not so much like lately because I've been covering a lot of politics and a lot of science, but I've been kind of like just shying away from the religious aspect because I know that it's very it's very sensitive. Religion is like super sensitive. And I want to make sure that I cover this in a very politically sensitive, but also in a way where it's not just something I just superficially cover, because religion is so profound and it is so deep for so many people that one cannot possibly just cover something like this superficially. You just can't gloss over religion, because religion is very like it's the very core to a lot of people out there, and it's what starts wars, it's what stops wars. I mean, it's pretty insane, religion. And I've always had some kind of I don't know, journey with religion and spirituality and all of that. And I think the major journey of religion and spiritualities was when I went to Portugal, and I was right after the Dr. Phil show, after that aired and all of that. And then I'm still on the heels of Dr. Phil, trying to deal with my own spirituality, which was in my world back then, and even still today, spirituality is the biochemistry and then how that manifests. So, um, so I was speaking to a group of people who are into spirituality and all of that, and then I'm going to a historical landmark, Fatima, out there in Portugal, which is a majorly Catholic, um, I would say, a major Catholic destination for those that believe that the Queen Mary, or the Queen, not Queen, Mary made her presence somewhere, showed her presence to 2 or 3 kids way back when. And so that was like my spiritual journey, I suppose, in 2018 was when I went to Portugal. Very heavily religious country. Okay, very Catholic country. And so I have to really touch upon religion in a very in a sensitive way. And so that's probably why I haven't really touched upon it too deeply, where I haven't like devoted a whole transmission around it, because I have to wrap myself around it. And I wrote a lot a couple weeks ago, and that was through my hormones, and through my hormones and the reactions to all the riots and all of the different politics around the racism and all that stuff. And so then I'm going back and looking at what I wrote a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this does need to be in there, but I need to really now come from a different perspective, because my chemistry has changed, my biochemistry has changed. And so when my biochemistry has changed, it means that I need to come from a different perspective. This is not necessarily my reactions anymore. I mean, it was, and I'm going to keep it in there because I'm going to have that as a focus, because 2020 has been pretty crazy, and we all have gone through so many emotions around 2020. I mean, from January up to this point, to all the masks, the coronavirus, the riots, the Black Lives Matter, all of these things, and then all the politics. It's just like, it boggles the mind, and it's so overwhelming. And when you're constantly just reacting, and then you want to rationalize your belief systems through your reactions, it doesn't necessarily come off very diplomatic. So now that I've stepped away, and I have been writing, because I know I'll be writing through reactions. Now I really have to just kind of step away, not write, and just take in everything. And this is when I said the war is over. Okay, a couple days ago, I was like, the war is over. I have no dog in any fight. I have no beef with anyone or anything. I don't care if people love my stuff or hate my stuff. I mean, I do and I don't, but it doesn't drive me that I have to convert people. Yeah, I still do get emails from people about Dr. Phil, and I just say, I respond back, hey, that was 2018. I've evolved. I apologize if I've offended, but we don't know what normal is, and I don't know, and even man and woman is a social construct. So hey, good luck to you. I will not be responding to you anymore. But here you go. Here's my book. Here's the evolution of Jilly Juice, and take it or leave it, and then that's it. And that's just kind of how I deal with anyone that still has trouble with who I was in 2018. Okay, so whatever. So now with this whole religious aspect, and I'm looking at the groups that I belong to back in 2017, 2016, and I'm looking at the MK Ultra, and a lot of the people that are focusing on the Illuminati and the MK Ultra and all of the cabal stuff. A lot of them are very religious, like super Christian, like super Christian, and they're against all the death stuff, and they're against all the torturing and all the abuse, the child abuse, and all these different things. And then, against things that will eventually translate into death. And then I'm just like, well, hold on a second. All these different religions, they believe in life, and then they also believe in death. Like they believe that death should happen. And then there's ones that are atheists. Okay, then I have my atheist friends on Facebook who are subscribed. They're all spiritual, as they say, and they all believe in life, and they don't like all the right wing ideology and very, very left wing, and they're all believing that people should live, and their whole premise is people should live, but they also believe that people should die. And I'm just like, and I remember when I was in the Spellbinder group, which is a very Christian, super Christian, right wing, I would say, where they're like, you can't serve two masters, but they have it in a different context. You can't serve two masters, and I forget exactly what the context was that they were talking about. But I'm looking at life and death. It is a specific. It's a God. It's a spirituality. I mean, life and death are very, very different. There is a distinction between life and death. They're not interchangeable, and they're not the same thing as religions and politics and science sometimes would like for people to believe, that they are one and the same. No, life and death are very distinct and very separate. And if I would put it in these words, they are two different masters. So we have, death and Satan, and then we have life and Jesus, or Yahweh, or Jehovah, or I don't know, the Mormons and whoever they believe in. Okay, so there's two masters, life or death. Okay, life is Jesus, life, and all that. Okay, so life is Allah, life is all these different spiritual beings, and then death is like Satan, and death is like whatever each religion has, a representation of what death is. There are two distinct things. But we live our life as if we were serving one master. We say we're serving life master, but yet we're applying the death chemistry to our body. And so there's a lot of hypocrisy right now in the politics, religion, and science when it comes to the how they say they value life. No matter who it is. I don't care if you're Christian, Catholic, Jewish, whatever. There is a major hypocrisy, a major disconnect when a person says they promote life, but yet they're teaching the death trajectory to not only their flock, but they're also teaching it to their children, and they're applying the chemistry, the death chemistry, to themselves. And that is, and I'm going to tell you what they are, something that's anti-life, that is pro-Satan, okay, so if I must say that. It is the antibiotics. It is the cannabis. And I know I sound like some major purist, but you have to understand that there is a specific chemistry behind all of these different remedies out there. Like I see the MLMs are huge in the Mormon world, like huge. Like I've seen, I have a Mormon sister. My mother adopted three of us. One she adopted way later on down the road, and she's Mormon. And she, she is part of the multi-level marketing crowd. And they are selling each other because it's huge. I mean, the Mormon community is so huge that yes, you could actually live off the Mormon community by doing, bartering and trading and doing all this stuff. And what do? Well, they tear down their own. They're selling each other all of these different supplements, which is anti-life. Okay? Then you have this Christian crowd that is, whether they're Southern Baptist or all these different religions, right? And they claim to be all about life, and they're selling each other cannabis. Okay, cannabis is antibiotic. It's anti-life. It's serving the Satan master, so to speak. And what is it for? It's for to suppress the healing, suppress God, suppress life. Okay? And and then you have the different religions that oversee or that are in specific industries. And it still serves the system that still promotes the death trajectory. Okay? And so it's not easy covering something like religion and politics and science, but they're all actually the same thing with different words to then separate them so you feel there's a difference. But what do they have in common? The three things they have in common: they know the existence of life, they know the existence of death, and then they believe everyone should die at some point. Some sooner will die sooner than later. And so I have to put, since we now have a life drink like Jilly Juice, that we know it promotes life, and you have to feel pain because pain is evolution, pain is creationism, okay? Because those two words are actually the same thing. Now that we know that we have a life drink that promotes life, it's now very easy to pick apart the hypocrisy, to see the hypocrisy in all politics, in all religion, in all science. And then you see the words that separate. Oh, okay, so you believe in Jehovah. Okay, you believe in Mormonism. Okay, you believe in Judaism. Hey, the only difference is the different words, the different people that represent the different words. Okay? And so, and that is the deception around the English language and then the politics, religion, and science. That's the deception, is how words then create different worlds, but they're the same world. Because you're still coming from, a single-celled organism. You're still coming from amino acids, a string of amino acids in salt water, because that's where life begins. I mean, look at the zygote, look at the little, the egg and the sperm, the little virus sperm, because there's an article that I posted about viruses are everywhere. There's trillions and trillions of viruses, and they upload data. Well, yeah, I mean, a sperm goes into an egg, it uploads data, it turns into a person eventually. Okay? Now, you could call creation, call an atom, ATOM or ADAM, it doesn't matter, it's still the same thing. Okay? And so that's how you're able to see that there is a major deception going on. And language is what creates the division. Now, if you understand if you understand what the most common foundation is, it is science is a common foundation, but science can even be manipulated. Science can have stories around the facts. Okay? But science is still science. It's still there, there are facts. But facts are for free. Like I said, facts are for free. What you're paying for in university and in all the religions is for all the stories around the facts. So if you can look up all of the facts, which is like a dictionary. I don't even have a dictionary, I have Google. But when I was a kid, when I was punished for weeks and weeks at a time, I would just read my dictionary. I would read my dictionary and just get to know words. I would read reference material. I would just read everything because that's all I could do. I couldn't watch TV, I couldn't listen to the radio, so all I could do was read. That's probably why I have such a, where reading and researching is not a major issue for me, because I've been raised by researching stuff. Okay, my mother gave me a dictionary, a picture dictionary, and then we translated, and then we got to the Webster dictionary and then all that stuff. So if you want facts, facts are for free. You go to the library and you look up reference material, that's for free. But it's the stories. It's the stories that you all have to pay with your body, mind, and spirit. Okay? You want the story around, around the human genome, you go and apply to Harvard University. And if you have the aptitude to go and be easily brainwashed by Harvard University, hey, we found another soldier, another minion for the system. You want, to understand how to proselytize and explain life through stories, life and death through stories. Hey, you go subscribe and go to church. Go to church, read a Bible, go to Bible study, go to Hebrew school, go to Sunday school, and and you got to pay for it. I mean, we went to Sunday school when we were kids for Judaism, and belonging to a temple is not cheap. You have to pay annual dues, and then you contribute to whatever. There's a lot of politics in organizations, in religious organizations. There's a lot of money in religious organizations. It's not for free. So now you got to pay for the story around the facts. But no, you can go down to the local library and you can actually look up facts for free. It's all government funded. And now, nowadays, hardly the library, but I can go and check out a reference material. Well, I don't think I can, no. You can't check out a reference material, but you can go to the library and you can look up words. But hey, buying a dictionary at the local bookstore doesn't cost that much. But facts are for free. It's the stories around politics, religion, and science is not for free. And that is when people get confused with different truths. Okay? Because there are a million different truths out there. Look at politics, religion, and science. You know how many truths there are in religion? I mean, you can count on all of your fingers and toes all the religions in the world. Judaism, Catholicism, Jehovah's Witness, what else? The Hebrews, the Protestants, the Lutherans, oh my gosh, there's so many. And they all have their different slants on how to explain the facts, life and death. But it all comes down to one foundation, life and death. The two absolutes. And then relative to the intention of society, then the whole infrastructure is predicated upon the belief system that people should die. And then you go look down at your downtown city commerce, and you look at all the different vendors out there. You have the grocery stores, you have the funeral parlors, you have the crematoriums with the funeral parlors. You have the life insurance, and you have the insurance, agents. You have I don't know, the Hallmark store, so you can buy cards for all the different milestones before you die, okay, type of thing. I mean, you just look at your downtown city of commerce and you can see exactly what infrastructure is supporting what, okay? Is there an infrastructure that supports life? Well, yeah. I mean, just the law and order and the fact that you're able to get into your car and you can drive and you go to the grocery store and get some food to keep you alive. But as soon as things start going wrong, then guess where the remedies market, and that's in your drug stores and your holistic stores and your natural food stores. And so you can see, what a belief system of society is just by looking at their infrastructure. And so that's why I never chose a side, because I'm telling you, I've lived in communes, Christian communes. I've lived in, raised Jewish. I mean, I've been on the internet and was in groups where they solely were all about, Christianity and their belief in Jesus, and hating the MK Ultra and hating all of the Satanism, but yet the people are they're getting heart attacks, or they are promoting all of their remedies, and they're going to church and saying we love life, but yet they're applying the death process to their body. And so it's like a speaking at both sides of the mouth. And I'm like, so you can't serve two masters. I get it now. You can't serve two masters. And so the Jilly Juice, before Jilly Juice, everything was on a death trajectory, so all you knew of what was death. And so it was easy to fall into lockstep with whatever was out there because everyone was speaking the same language. Yeah, we believe in life, but really, truly, to the core, people really wanted each other to die. They really do. I mean, it's in the foundation of people's lives. Yes, here we want you to live, but eventually you're going to die, and some sooner than later. And then they apply all the different remedies and cocktails that are actually anti-life at the micro level, which may give them a few years at the macro level, but the inevitability is the death trajectory, the death process. And so now with the J juice, now you're seeing what a life process is, what a life trajectory is. And then now all of that deception, the playing with the words, all the religions, the politics, and even some of the scientific manipulations have fallen away, because now you see what actual life is. It's not all the crap that they're putting out there. It's not all the fancy words. It's not all the drugs and all the different distractions. That's not life. That's distraction. That's covering up the indicators that you're on a death trajectory, but you call it life. Okay? And so atheism and creationism are actually two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. And it can be blasphemous to some people, yes, because they're like, oh my God, the atheists, they don't believe in God. Oh, they do. You know what God is? God is life, and God is chemistry, biochemistry. Okay? There is an intelligent design. Whether you want to call it God, or you want to call it life, or you want to call it, atoms or Adam, it doesn't matter. It's an intelligent design. There's so much chaos out there in the world, and then there's a specific order to the chaos. And who applies that order? Well, it's a specific design. Okay? And yes, the origination of how these atoms and then the microbiome, which is the viruses, the parasites, the protozoa, the proteins, the fungus, and bacteria, how that actually turned into an animal, turned into biodiversity, that's the intelligent design. You can call it God, or you can call it life. Whatever it is, it's intelligent design. And there's two absolutes in those two worlds, atheism and creationism, life and death. You can't serve two masters. But I'm telling you, so many people out there in so many different religions and science and politics. Now, it's not everybody in every religion, because there are people in all religions on my Facebook that are doing the Jilly Juice, that believe in it. And so then I understand then that it's not all religions, it's the people in the religion that are promoting the death process because their bodies, mind, and spirit are on a death trajectory, and that's all they know. However, the religion overall in general, when you actually talk to the rabbis and the priests and the pastors and the leaders of these gurus of these communities, they believe in death. They believe that there is a whole other side, the death process. Even some of these gurus out there, some of these cult leaders, they believe in actual death. They believe in death too. Tell me any cult leader out there that believes in indefinite life here on this earth indefinitely. None that I know of. Because they're all predicated on major amounts of money, which translates into biochemistry and time and loyalty and workshops and paying all this money for consultations and all that. And so so these cult leaders out there, they are feasting on the imbalanced biochemistry. And so with the J juice, it's like, hey, you have to feel pain. Oh my God. J juice, if evolution is pain, oh my God, people resist that. With the J juice, I don't walk you through stuff. I don't really answer too many questions. I don't guide anybody through anything. I really want to be hands off. I don't want to be bothered. If you have something to share in the group that everyone can take part in that is not mischaracterizing the J juice or anything else, then, that's fine. But I don't do anything personally with any specific person because I have my own life to deal with. I have my own, healing and evolution process. You all have your own evolution process that I really have no say in. And so the whole Julie Juice is really about individual accountability for their healing process. And it really shouldn't involve anyone else but themselves, except for people they're accountable to, like their own family members. But to people in my group, no, they're not accountable to anybody in my group. They're accountable to themselves and the people that depend upon them. I make sure the process is not going to be totally